Since North Korean troops joined the Russia-Ukraine conflict, they have suffered significant losses. The primary reasons for this include their lack of combat experience, communication challenges with Russian forces on the front lines, and insufficient support from Russian troops. Footage from the region also reveals the difficulties North Korean soldiers face in dealing with FPV drones. Today, we will examine their current situation and the strategies they have been employing, as well as delve deeper into the geopolitical implications, the historical context, the impact on North Korean families, and the potential consequences for North Korea's internal stability. North Korean troops in the conflict. In footage provided by the 47th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, North Korean troops are seen alongside Russian forces in the KSK region. As these groups are detected, Ukrainian forces launch artillery strikes. Among the weapons used, the HIMARS multiple rocket launcher system stands out as one of the most effective, posing a serious threat to large enemy formations. After these strikes, the number of North Korean and Russian troops in the area drastically decreases. Ukrainian forces further employ FPV drones to neutralize smaller groups. Many North Korean soldiers attempt to take cover in wooded areas, but they are hunted down systematically. The 47th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade successfully repels the attacks, demonstrating Ukraine's superior battlefield tactics. Given the open terrain and harsh winter conditions, it is clear that both North Korean and Russian forces struggle to fight effectively in this environment. The South Korean Ministry of Defense recently reported that North Korea has sent nearly 200 long-range artillery pieces to Russia and is expected to deploy additional soldiers and weaponry. Among these is the M1989 Koksan, a 170 mm self-propelled howitzer developed in the late 1980s. This system, known for its long-range capabilities, has been spotted in Russian-controlled areas. Reports confirm that these artillery pieces are actively being used along the front lines in eastern Ukraine to strike long-range targets, signaling increasing military cooperation between Russia and North Korea. Tactical and strategic challenges. How long will North Korea continue to support Russia in this war? The presence of North Korean soldiers appears to be diminishing, suggesting a possible shift. Some experts believe this could indicate exhaustion of North Korea's ability to send troops, while others suggest Pyongyang is reconsidering its involvement. If North Korea continues to send soldiers, it may face backlash from international organizations, further tightening economic sanctions and diplomatic isolation. Recent reports indicate that at least 40 North Korean soldiers were killed in a Ukrainian UAV strike, shedding light on the high casualty rate among these troops. Despite the availability of footage, much of it is outdated, and we rely on representative images due to the lack of new video sources. Ukrainian FPV drones have proven exceptionally effective in kamikaze-style attacks, precisely targeting enemy positions. However, North Korean troops seem unprepared to counter such advanced military technologies, relying instead on outdated combat tactics which significantly reduce their chances of survival. And according to Ukrainian sources, North Korean soldiers struggle to adapt to modern military doctrines and often rely on outdated 20th century battle strategies. Pyongyang's training methods focus on human wave tactics, attempting to overwhelm the enemy with sheer numbers. However, these conventional assault methods prove highly ineffective against modern Ukrainian forces who use UAVs and electronic warfare to dominate the battlefield. North Korean troops advancing in open terrain are easily detected and targeted by drones, which strike with pinpoint accuracy. Additionally, their lack of electronic warfare defenses leaves them vulnerable, as Ukrainian forces can easily disrupt their communications and coordination. The technological disparity is evident in Ukraine's ability to control the battlefield with precision strikes and advanced reconnaissance. Psychological and ideological conditioning. After searching the body of a deceased North Korean soldier, Ukrainian forces discovered a drawing detailing a tactic meant to counter UAVs. The strategy involved using one soldier as bait to distract a drone, allowing two others to attempt a counterattack. This approach highlights the outdated military thinking of North Korean commanders, demonstrating their lack of understanding of modern warfare. Such primitive tactics only expose their soldiers to greater risks rather than providing effective countermeasures against advanced drone technology. In addition to the tactical note, another document found on a fallen North Korean soldier contained ideological propaganda emphasizing that death was preferable to disgrace. The message reinforced the regime's strict doctrine, urging soldiers to avoid capture at all costs. It instructed them to use grenades to take their own lives rather than surrender. This reveals the intense psychological conditioning imposed on North Korean troops, prioritizing loyalty to the regime over survival. The propaganda aims to prevent the leakage of sensitive information and uphold the state's militaristic ideology, but in the face of modern warfare, such indoctrination is leading to severe casualties. Despite this, North Korean troops continue to struggle with real combat situations. Unlike Ukrainian forces who have adapted to evolving battlefield conditions, North Korean soldiers have limited experience in actual warfare. Their training is based on drills rather than real-world engagements, leaving them ill-prepared for the challenges they face in Ukraine. Impact on North Korean families and society. As North Korean families seek ways to prevent their sons from being sent to Russia, falsified tuberculosis diagnoses have become a common method of avoidance. Families are paying hefty bribes for fake medical certificates, with the costs rising from $100 to $500 due to increasing demand. Given that North Korea has one of the world's highest tuberculosis rates, fraudulent cases can easily blend in with genuine ones. According to reports, many North Koreans fear they will never see their sons again if they are deployed to Russia. Some soldiers sent to the front lines were reportedly unaware of their destination. A captured North Korean soldier in Ukraine claimed he did not know where he was being taken or who he was fighting against. This confusion is spreading among North Korean troops, many of whom have been indoctrinated to view the United States as their primary enemy. A resident of Ryanggang province expressed uncertainty, questioning, "Who is our enemy? Why do we have a new enemy?" This growing doubt among North Koreans reflects the larger issue of misinformation and control within the regime. North Korea's decision to send troops to Russia marks a significant geopolitical development. This cooperation signals an increasing dependence on Russia for political and economic support as Pyongyang continues to navigate international isolation. However, the consequences of this alliance remain uncertain, particularly as casualties rise and dissatisfaction among North Korean families grows. If the trend of high losses continues, North Korea may face internal challenges, with families resisting military deployments and questioning the state's leadership. As North Korea deepens its involvement in the Russia-Ukraine war, it faces mounting challenges on multiple fronts. The battlefield has proven to be far more brutal than anticipated, with North Korean troops sustaining heavy casualties due to their lack of combat experience and inadequate coordination with Russian forces. Many of these soldiers, hastily deployed and poorly trained, struggle to adapt to modern warfare, particularly against Ukraine's advanced drone and artillery capability. Reports indicate that entire North Korean units have been decimated in targeted strikes, with Ukrainian FPV drones effectively neutralizing their movements before they can engage in combat. Beyond the battlefield, discontent is growing within North Korea's population. The government's decision to send soldiers abroad has fueled anxiety and fear among families, many of whom are resorting to desperate measures to keep their sons from being drafted. The rise in fraudulent medical diagnoses, particularly false tuberculosis certificates, highlights the extent to which families are willing to go to avoid sending their loved ones into a war they do not understand or support. The cost of these bribes has skyrocketed, further straining the already struggling North Korean economy. Meanwhile, reports suggest that some conscripts are misled about their destinations, only realizing they have been deployed to Ukraine once they arrive in the conflict zone, leading to confusion and morale issues among the troops. The geopolitical implications of North Korea's involvement in the war are also becoming increasingly apparent. By supplying both troops and military equipment to Russia, Pyongyang is deepening its ties with Moscow in a way that may have long-term consequences for the global balance of power. The deployment of North Korean artillery, including the M1000, 989 Koksan howitzers, demonstrates the regime's commitment to supporting Russia's war effort. However, this alliance may come at a steep price. International sanctions against North Korea could intensify, and its growing reliance on Russia may leave it vulnerable to political manipulation in the future. Domestically, the North Korean government continues to push propaganda that glorifies battlefield sacrifice, reinforcing the idea that death in combat is honorable and preferable to capture or retreat. The psychological conditioning of its soldiers is evident in the personal notes recovered from fallen troops, which emphasize loyalty, courage, and the ultimate sacrifice for the state. Yet this rigid ideology is proving to be a poor match for the realities of modern warfare, where outdated tactics stand little chance against technologically superior opponents. As the situation unfolds, questions remain about how long North Korea can sustain its involvement in this war. With rising casualties, increasing domestic unrest, and an uncertain geopolitical future, the regime may find itself facing unexpected consequences. Will North Korea continue to send troops and supplies to Russia, or will internal pressures force it to reconsider its role in the conflict? What are your thoughts on these developments? Do you think North Korea's involvement will continue, or will internal struggles lead to a change in policy? Please share your opinions in the comments section.